Good morning. The good news this morning, it's Friday, 6 a.m. The bad news involves transit this morning, especially if you rely on the Expo line. We're experiencing some major delays due to an overnight issue. Let's go to speak with TransLink right now. Anne Drennan is with Transit Police. She joins us on the phone. Good morning, Anne. Tell us what's the latest. What's going on this morning?
Well, just after 11 o'clock last night, the SkyTrain staff became aware of lost signals and communications to the downtown area of the Expo line. It turned out that a very small fire had burned approximately 4 feet or just over a meter of communications cables that control the operation of the SkyTrain from 29th Avenue all the way down to the waterfront. And what had happened was that there were maintenance technicians doing routine maintenance on the track in the area of the Main Street station. They were using a rotary rail grinder. They do this every night to keep the track smooth so that it's in safe working order and keep the noise levels down. A spark apparently flew from the grinder on the rail and wafted over to a nest, a bird's nest, bizarrely enough, that was underneath the guideway. There caused a flare-up, and these cables were burned out for about 4 feet. This is very difficult to repair in that new cable wires have to be spliced. Obviously, the burned out portion has to be cut out, and then new cables have to be spliced in, and it's way up in the air underneath the guideway, hovering over terminal at Main. So we've got our techs up there. They're well underway into the work, but it's very slow, painstaking work, and we're looking at what we're saying is minimum 6 to 8 hour delay, which would take us into the 10 a.m. to noon hour range. So that's where we're sitting right now. They're working as hard as they can to get this up as quickly as possible. There's nobody to blame here. This is just something that happened. It's very bizarre. The nest was not visible at all, and the spark just happened to fly in the wrong place.
It's incredible to think that, I mean, when you look at just, like you said, no one to really blame here, except thousands of people are having their commute impacted this morning because of a bird's nest of all things. Are there any things in place that can sort of prevent this type of thing from happening on the route that you know of?
Yeah, that's a good question. And yes, there's netting that is put up in various strategic areas all along the system where there are known issues with birds, and pigeons in particular are a huge problem for the system. So there's this netting in certain places. This is not an area where there has ever been an identified problem with birds. This nest, as I say, was not visible at all by either the maintenance techs or anybody else, any other staff, etc., until they went searching for the cause of this problem, and netting would be very difficult to put in place long-term at this particular location because it's so high up in the air and above Terminal Avenue and all the rest of it, So yes, SkyTrain's very aware of bird situations, but this wasn't something that was identified in this location at all.
Unprecedented situation. Well, thank you very much, Anne Drennan, joining us this morning from Transit Police. We appreciate that. It's been a sleepless night for you and a lot of folks over at TransLink today. So there you go. All of this caused by a bird's nest of all things.